A spiritual journey is about purifying the system. We, as humans, at this time, are very toxic. We drink alcohol, we smoke, we do drugs, we eat really processed food that's really not good for us at all, and our bodies become very, very toxic. And this is true in everyone. And this process that we're going through, this spiritual awakening, is helping you to detoxify the system. Alcohol is one of the worst. I know that from my journey. And I took some time off of alcohol. And last night I had 2 beers. And I want to let you in on 6 sort of signs, 6 reasons why, because of my feeling into it today, 6 reasons why we don't drink alcohol on a spiritual awakening. Now, of course, we have this feeling inside of us, especially if you're anything like me at the start of the journey, where it feels like dropping alcohol, we can't just drop it, because when we drink alcohol we have that deep connected feeling to life. You know, 1 or 2 drinks really does increase your prana in your body, but after that, perhaps on the 3rd drink, 4th drink, we slowly head downhill and we can't quite hold on to our higher selves anymore. And we do things that we regret in the morning. We call it in the UK beer fear. We think about things in the morning and this inner sting comes in. Oh, what if I pissed off John? Or what if I said something wrong? I feel like I did something wrong to Amy, or whatever it is. And as we're going through this process, we're now looking to begin to detoxify the system. We're now trying to look at dropping these things, because, you know, when we drink and we have this beer fear in the morning, it is suffering, really, isn't it? So every time that we drink, we might notice that we're actually creating more suffering for ourselves than we really need to. Now, I get it, it's hard to drop the drink, but it will drop, trust me. As you become more sensitive, as you do more sadhana, as you become more sensitive to your inner awareness state and your inner feeling, you'll notice that drink affects you in many different aspects of your life. And when we're on the spiritual journey, we're here to try and conserve the energy inside of ourselves, not hemorrhage it by drinking. So I've got 6 things that I noticed through drinking last night, and what I've noticed in my practice and in my mental state today. So 6 reasons why we shouldn't drink alcohol whilst going through a spiritual awakening. The first thing is your thoughts become more negative. You'll notice this as you become more sensitive. You're probably already noticing this, but after 1 or 2 pints, the next day, or after that even, your mental focus will be less positive. The vibration, alcohol does dim your vibe. It dims your vibration. Yes, it increases your prana in the first instance for the first 1 or 2 drinks, but after that, it's one of those things that makes you crash. And we know this. We get a hangover in the morning, and also we get tired later in the day if we've drunk in mid-afternoon or whatever. And this is our system saying, okay, we needed to use a lot of our prana at the start to increase, to make that nice feeling inside of us, and now we're running at a deficit of prana. And because of that, the mind goes too. The mind enters a lower vibrational state and it starts thinking more negative. You might notice that you start judging yourself more, and it's not something that, as a sensitive person in me, I'm too sensitive to have that inside of me now. It drives me crazy. If I've got negative thinking inside of me, it's too much for me. My nervous system's too sensitive for it. I can't handle it. And as you get more sensitive, as you do more sadhana, this will be the same, if not already, for you too. The second thing is that you'll notice, because I do my pranayams, meaning breathing practices, every day, twice a day usually, and I'm ferocious on it. I love it because it's good chakra work for me. It makes me feel blissful inside, makes my mind more expansive, and it makes me feel great. However, because it's a breathing exercise, we notice, especially after we've had a drink or two, like I did last night, there's too much mucus. It creates a lot of mucus in the throat, and we can find ourselves, as we're doing our breathing exercises, going to try and clear that excess mucus that's produced by the alcohol in the throat. It's not very healthy for us as well to have so much mucus in the throat. It's why we try and drop our mucus producing foods like gluten and cheese as we go through a spiritual awakening, because you notice the difference. You get all clogged up in the nasal passage and in the throat. It will also, because they're all connected, clog your ear. What do they call this area? Your sinal airways or whatever. It will clog your whole airways up with mucus. Of course, mucus isn't great because it's a feeding ground. It's warm liquid. It's moisture. It's a breeding ground for bacteria, and it's why we get sick a lot. Why we get a lot of sinus stuff at the start of the awakening. Why we get a lot of throat stuff at the start of the awakening. It's because of that imbalance. Because a lot of mucus is there. It's making the throat areas and the sinal airways work a lot harder than they need to. And of course then the tail end of that, we get tired as well. But we start noticing these things and we get better at it. 3, it will dim your prana. Meaning, it will dim your vibe. Trust me, if you've got some nice feeling going on inside of you after a practice, watch, have a drink. No, I'm not saying do this actually, but you'll notice if you do have a drink, like I did yesterday, if you do have a drink, instantly, yes, you'll get a nice rush, but after a while, that will totally dim. That inner feeling, that inner fire that you've cultivated through your pranayams or whatever it is that you do, your yoga, will disintegrate. You'll have to start again. You'll have to start building up that inner fire again. Just because you drank alcohol, it's just not worth it. It is just not worth it after a while. At the start, it's fine. You can get away with it because most of the time, you're not even noticing these subtleties inside of you. But as you get more sensitive, as you do more work, you almost forcefully don't have a choice. You won't be able to drink anymore. I suppose that's not really true, but you won't want to. Okay, also, yes, number 4, it is a depressant. When you detox off the alcohol, especially this is key in the dark night of the soul, which is why when I was going through a dark night of the soul, I used to drink so much. But it's such a bad thing to do. Not bad, like not to judge it, but like because it's free. Like you're free to do whatever you want in your journey, because of course, like we have to find our own way, and I trust that life will help you find your own way. But for me, it's a depressant, and when you start detoxing off of it, even in the dark night of the soul, you'll get those pangs in the belly that mimic the dark night of the soul pain. You may well be out of the dark night of the soul, but that pain is still there, being mimicked by the fact that we're drinking. It does the same effect. It's a depressive, you know, and it's just, the thing is, what I'm saying is so true for me, like just so unbelievably true. So if you wish to take these things on, please by all means do, because they're just right. I'm not saying like I'm right and you're wrong. I'm just saying for me these things were just so right. And of course you're on your own journey. You have to notice these things for yourself too. But these are really big things that I started noticing. If you're in the dark night of the soul, and if you can, because sometimes alcohol is people's like food. Like it's how they deal with their pain, and that's fine for a while. So if you're still in that, you do you. No judgment, there's nothing wrong with alcohol, but just notice that you're paying. There's a consequence for it, usually hangover, but also depressive feelings in the belly that stay and stay and stay. It's just not worth it. For me, it wasn't worth it. After a while, but for the start, it might be worth it. They might be the stabilizers. You know, like on a bike, when a kid starts to learn to ride a bike, has the stabilizers. Alcohol is the stabilizers for a while, at least it was for me. And then we grow wings and you don't need stabilizers after then, right? After that, right? Yes, it will also, number 5, create dis-ease in the body. There's literally a synchronicity in the term disease, because it's toxic. Look, if you need to drink one day, that's fine. I'm not saying do it, because you've got to be responsible for your own actions, but I'm just talking about from my past, I noticed that if I drank one day, yes, I'd be toxic, yes, I'd wake up and feel furry headed, yes, my kidneys and liver might hurt, yes, my lower back might hurt, yes, I might feel sick or whatever the day after if I really abuse it. And then if I did it for a second day after that, my word, the toxicity levels of my body were so profound and so outrageous that it starts affecting the mental state. It starts toxifying the body really truly, because you've got to remember, it's in your blood. Yes, it works itself out slowly, but once it's gone through your blood, it processes through your adrenal system as well. And then it's still not done, it's still processing around. And if you're drinking a second day, it's double dosed, the body slows down, and it just creates dis-ease in the system and toxifies the system, and it's just horrible. Looking back on it now, thinking about it, I used to go out and party a lot because I was an absolute nightmare of a kid. And I think one time I went out, should I admit this on the internet? Lots and lots of nights in a row, and back then I wasn't sensitive much to all of these things, so I wasn't really noticing it, but you notice it as you do more work, as you get more sensitive. We are toxic, literally like uranium standard toxic, and we're getting it everywhere, literally, and it is destroying our lives, at least it was mine. And these are just the things, because this morning I woke up with I know it's only 2 beers, but still, I'm so sensitive to it now, and a bit of a lightweight, and I noticed my body, my feeling was literally toxic. 6, and this is the sixth one, and this is the most important one actually, and the most readily available one for you to notice. You lose awareness. On the alcohol, yes, but as well, the day afterwards, you totally lose awareness. Because you've got that inner sticky feeling, you're not so focused intently with your intention on your mind. Remember, we're the witness, we're the one watching the mind, watching the emotions, watching the body, watching the external world, and we leave our seat of power more because we lack awareness on the alcohol in the next day as well. And as our mind starts wandering, we'll notice that it's doing that a lot more regularly, a lot more negatively, and it will catch you, it will draw you in because you've lost awareness, and you'll start thinking about things that we shouldn't be thinking about perhaps in that moment, that aren't relevant to that moment. And then it only takes 1 or 2 bad thoughts, doesn't it, for us to be down a track of old wounds and old pains that just absolutely annihilates us. And that's the worst thing with the alcohol. Number 6 is that our minds will wander. We lack awareness, and the day after, our minds will just wander, and we could end up doing it for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and just finally snap out of the mind wandering and then think, oh bloody hell, where did that last 20, 30 minutes go? And it's because of the alcohol, it's because of the lack of awareness. Oh my god, I just had deja vu. I feel like I've done this before. How weird is that? I'd love to know what deja vu is, by the way. If anybody knows what deja vu actually is scientifically. Anyway, going off topic, the mind will wander and you'll get drawn in because you'll have a lack of focus, a lack of awareness brought on by the toxic state in your body and by just that lack of awareness that's created through the drink, through the alcohol. So those are the 6 reasons that I found are why we don't drink in a spiritual awakening. Bear in mind, there's nothing wrong with alcohol. Even one of the great sages, one of the great monks, I can't remember his name right now, but I'll post it on the After Effects stuff. I'll put it up here somewhere with his name. He drinks bourbon, whiskey. He loves it. Of course, he does it in the most conscious way possible, but it's okay to have a conscious relationship with alcohol if you can do it. I'm not one of those people that can really do that, I don't feel. I will have a drink once and now and again, usually to celebrate, as we do. But there's a feeling in me that even that I might drop, because I'm not one of those people that can have a real conscious relationship with alcohol, whereas some of the great sages could. Some of them spoke tobacco. There's nothing inherently wrong with it, it's just how we respond, and it's a case-by-case basis. So anyway, that's 6 reasons why I don't drink there's no shoulds or shouldn'ts, but why I don't try not to drink on a spiritual awakening. Yeah. Down below there's a free guided meditation that you're more than welcome to sign up for. Call it guided meditation, but they're actually breathing practices. It's called Cosmic Double Breathing. It will awaken bliss inside of you, and it will make you feel great, oxygenate your body, relax your nervous system, detox you. Perfect. Also, down below there is the Awakening Accelerator course, which you're more than welcome to sign up for if you're in the dark night of the soul. If you maybe keep it logical with this, tied to this video, if you're drinking too much, you feel, and you'd like a way to slipstream out of that, to bring bliss inside of you in a way that's more constant than alcohol, and that's the course for you. Those 5 breathing practices in the sadhana below changed my consciousness, changed my life, and took me out of the dark night of the soul. Finally, down below there is a free community for awakening souls that you're more than welcome to sign up to. It's free, it's in Facebook, it's private. We're creating a sangha of amazing people. Sangha meaning like-minded, awakening, spiritually people. God, you get what I mean. And can I say a big thank you to the people in there? You're offering great support to people. I love it. I'm in there. I'm trying to do my best I can in every free moment that I get, and I'm really happy to see other people try and do that as well. It's great to see. So thank you very much for watching this video, and have a lovely day.